right, lovely learners, are you ready to read? I know I am. Get comfy. It's listening time. Let's turn up the volume on our ears. Can you hear me? Sweet. And now, since we're listening, we're going to have to turn down the volume on our mouths. On the count of 3, we're going to put on our regal reading glasses so you can see the pictures, or you can read along with me if you already know how. Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, today is a special day because I have an author friend coming to read his story. Are you ready to hear it? It's a really good one. All right, let's hear it.
Hi, I'm Aubrey Clarke, and I'm about to tell you my story called Fly, Little Blackbird Fly. It takes place at a place called Eglinton Flats over at Jane and Eglinton. That's where I grew up. And we used to play in a place called the Pit. See, the Pit was a wooded area filled with bushes that lie in Eglinton Flats. So you ready to hear my story? Here we go. One day, Miss Blackbird was flying from Mississauga back to Toronto, twirling and swirling all through the air. She flew high, she flew low, she flew up and down and spun around, when suddenly a stone flew by. She thought to herself, "This is strange, stones don't fly," but she continued on across the sky. Perhaps, oh no, one of the stones hit her wing and she was forced to land. Oh, what a terrible thing. She landed in Eglinton Flats where children were playing. They wanted to see how high and how far they can throw the stones. But unfortunately, Miss Blackbird was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Miss Blackbird's wing was broken, so she fluttered in pain towards a place called the Pit. There she rested and bowed her head as tears flowed from her eyes, knowing that the doctor said she would never fly again. The next day, Miss Blackbird laid 2 eggs. Although she was still in pain, she was filled with excitement at the thought she'd soon be a mother. Weeks passed, but only one of the eggs hatched. Miss Blackbird was so happy that she named her new daughter Joy. Now, Joy grew up quickly and had big, beautiful feathers. But there was only one thing that troubled the little blackbird. You see, her friend Motivate, the white dove who lived in a tree, could fly and Joy just couldn't. This made Joy very sad. Every morning, Motivate would come to Joy and say, "Joy, come fly with me and see this lovely world full of success and beauty." Joy would lower her head with tears in her eyes. "Don't you know that blackbirds can't fly? Look at my mother," she would cry. Day after day, Joy would walk to the tree where Motivate lived to gather the rotten cherries that fell to the ground. When she looked up, she would see her friend sitting in the trees, singing and humming, dancing and prancing all through the branches. Now Motivate ate from the ripe fruit that was still on the tree. She looked down and shouted, "Too bad you said that blackbirds can't fly, or you'd be able to taste this delicious fruit I eat, so juicy and sweet." Joy would go home sad and say to herself, "I wish I could fly way up high." One morning, Joy woke up early and heard Raccoon and Skunk ranting and raving about the view from the top of the hill. Raccoon said, "I love to look at all my friends' homes when I go to the top of the hill." Skunk said, "Watching the children play cricket and soccer on the other side of the flats is what I love." Joy wanted so much to see what they were talking about, so she made her way to the hill, which seemed like a gigantic mountain to Little Blackbird. While Joy was climbing, she saw her friend Motivate flying overhead. Motivate flew down to Joy and said, "Where are you going?" "Well, I'm going to the top of the hill so I can see all of my friends' homes and the children playing sports," Joy replied. "Too bad you said that blackbirds can't fly, or you'd be able to see this world full of success and beauty from the sky." Then Motivate flew off, twirling and swirling, singing and humming. Joy was determined to get to the top of the hill because of what Raccoon and Skunk said, but every time Joy tried to climb, she would just slip back down into the mud. In the background, she could hear Raccoon and Skunk calling her names. "Weakling, weakling, can't fly, na 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 na." Joy felt bullied and too tired to keep trying, so she fluttered home. The next day, Joy did not want to see or talk to anyone, so she wandered off to a place she had never gone before, to the far side of the pit. She had heard stories of the amazing things on the other side of the Great Divide. You see, in order for Joy to get to the far side of the pit, she had to cross a playground, cross a sand pit, and then a 10-foot ditch. You see, 10 feet may be shallow to you and I, but to the little blackbird that couldn't fly, it was like 100 feet. When Joy looked down into the ditch, she fearfully crossed the bridge made of branches. As she made her way across the branches, the clouds began to overshadow the sun, and darkness filled the air. Joy began to tremble, but she said to herself, "I've come too far to turn back now." So she pressed onward, and just as she got to the other side, the clouds rolled back, and the sun came up with such radiance that it almost blinded her. Joy closed her eyes for a moment, but when she opened them again, there it was, the thing she dreamt of her whole life. That sight was so awesome that Joy froze in amazement. It was sweeter than candy and worth more than gold. It was at that point that Joy found hope. Joy couldn't believe her eyes. She immediately hopped, waddled, and fluttered as fast as she could towards home. She got home 10 times faster and it took her to get to the far side of the pit. She said, "Mom, Mom, Mom, I saw it, I did. Calm down, Joy. What are you talking about? I saw a blackbird fly and she looked just like me, Mom. I did. Is that all, my precious little blackbird? This blackbird responded. Joy looked confused. Joy thought that it was a miracle to see a blackbird flying. This blackbird looked at Joy and said, "Why are you so surprised to see a blackbird fly?" Joy looked at her mom and said, "Mom, if blackbirds fly, then how come we don't?" Tears ran down Miss Blackbird's beak as she told Joy all about the accident she had while flying over Eglinton Flats. Joy sat in awe, and for the first time she felt that she had a chance to do everything her friends could do and more. All that week, Joy got up early and flapped her wings. Monday she flapped and flapped. Tuesday she flapped and flapped and flapped. Wednesday she flapped and flapped and flapped even harder. And by Sunday, Joy flapped her wings so hard she sounded like 1,000 birds flapping. Joy felt it in her bones that what she so often dreamt of was about to become a reality. So she gave it one last flap, and as she was about to take off, a strong wind came and blew her back. Joy tumbled, hurt her wing, and bumped her head. She was so upset, she said to herself, "This is useless. I should just give up." But something came over her. It was a feeling of peace. Joy remembered the other blackbird she saw flying and was determined that she too would fly. Joy got back up, brushed herself off, and decided to try again. She counted 1, 2, 3, then took a running start and flapped her wings so hard that this time she sounded like a turbojet. Joy woke up all the animals in the pit. She came from all over to see what the commotion was about. And just as the last animal arrived, Joy did it. She was flying. The animals all stared in amazement. Joy saw all of her friends' homes and the children playing sports. It was a dream come true. Joy flew when she flew. Joy was so filled with excitement that she did somersaults, twirls, dives, and swirls. Then flew over the motivate tree and ate the sweet cherries. Miss Blackbird looked up with tears in her eyes and began to sing.
Fly, fly, way up high. You can fly beyond the sky. Fly, fly, way up high. I can see the stars in your eyes. All it takes is a little trying with a little bit of belief and some courage, and you can achieve. Sometimes the hills may seem too high and the winds may seem too strong, but keep on flapping till your dreams come true. You better fly, fly, sing with me. Way up high, you can fly beyond the sky. Fly, fly, good. Way up high, I can see the stars in your eyes.
Joy flew, and she flew, and all animals joined in. Then she flew over Motivate's tree, and Motivate joined her in the air, and they flew high above the mountain, which now looked like an ant to Joy. Joy flew so high that even Motivate couldn't fly as high as Joy. In the distance, Joy saw that miraculous blackbird. They flew towards each other and met right where the sun shone the brightest. Hope looked at Joy and smiled and said, "My name is Hope." Joy blinked her eyes in admiration, but as quickly as she did that, Hope disappeared into the sun. Now, I bet you're wondering what happened to the other egg that didn't hatch. But that's another story. The end. I wonder where Miss Love is.
Here I am. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining me on the Soulful Sofa. Wasn't that a great story, everyone?
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed telling the story.
It was so good. And you know what, everybody? All that reading, it made me so thirsty. I think we should take a sip of water from our clever cups. What do you think?
I think it's a good idea.
All right, cheers.
Water
Delicious.
is so refreshing.
Yes, water is very refreshing. It's so good for us. That's something that we push here at Love, Light, and Learn TV. Always drink your water. So tell me something. What inspired you to write such an amazing and captivating story?
Well, I wrote the story because I used to work in the children's ministry at my church. And I work with a lot of single mothers, and I wanted to inspire the children that just because they didn't see their parents doing something didn't mean that they can't do it, right? So, maybe you didn't see your parents become a doctor. It doesn't mean that you can't become a doctor. Sometimes our parents go through traumatic things before we're born, and we don't know what's held them back from achieving their goals and their dreams. But because they didn't achieve their dreams doesn't mean that you can't achieve your dreams.
Oh wow, I think that's an awesome message. What do you think, lovely learners? I can't hear you. Yes, I agree. This makes so much sense. And like Aubrey said, just because your caring adults weren't able to accomplish something, that doesn't mean that you can. You can still try, right?
Right, definitely.
So now with this story, why did you choose the blackbird as your symbol? I think that was just so beautiful, and yeah, I really felt it.
Well, the blackbird is a real species of bird, right? So, but it can also relate to what we go through as Black people, right? We might see our friends of a different race achieving certain things, and we might not believe that we can do it because we don't see somebody like ourselves doing it. So when Joy saw Hope flying, she saw somebody like herself. That's why representation is very important, right? Saw somebody like herself flying, so she believed that she could fly. Even though Motivate was a bird, and Motivate always tried to motivate Joy to fly, she was just thinking to herself, well, maybe the reason you fly motivates because you live in a tree. Maybe the reason you fly motivates because you're white. But that wasn't true. It's because Joy never tried. And once she tried and practiced, she was able to fly high, and she ended up flying even higher than Motivate.
See, that's another thing that we talk a lot about here at Love, Light, and Learn TV, which is practicing. Just because you can't do something at first doesn't mean that you're not able to develop the skills. So always practice. If you enjoy doing something, you may not be good at it right away, but the more you practice, the better you'll become. Thank you so much for coming here today. We really enjoyed this story, and we hope maybe that he'll come back another time, right?
Yes, I might come back. And you gotta find out what happened to the other egg that didn't hatch.
Yes, I would really like to hear about this. So I think we'll get a show of hands for how many people want to hear what happens to the other egg. All right, lovely learners, see you later.
Take care and thank you.
I love reading stories with you. Thanks for joining me with your big, beautiful smiles. Your good company brought so much love and light to this room. So, lovely learners, we have a dash of love and a sprinkle of light. But, what did we learn today? Wow, That was such an awesome story, won't you say? I really enjoyed it. And you know what? I don't really have very much more to say. Just a reminder of what Aubrey just said. Even if someone around you hasn't done something before, you can still do it. And if you're not great at something, you got it. Just practice, because practice makes perfect. But I have a question for all of you, and I'd really like to hear your thoughts on this. Is there something that you would like to do even if you haven't seen someone who looks like you do it, or if your caring adults haven't done it before? For example, I would really love to go to the moon. Really, I would really love to go to the moon. So please, tell me something that you would like to do even if you haven't seen anyone else do it. I love to dance. I bet you do too. Join in the dazzling dance party and get your body moving to the beat of some music. The music could be fast, the music could be slow. Come on, let's go.